In today's video, we're going to be looking at Star Ocean, the second story arc. But before we dive in, I just want to shout out Square Enix for providing me with an early copy of the game so I can get my thoughts, my opinions, and the footage you are going to see in today's video for you to all enjoy. That being said, it doesn't influence any of my opinions that I'm going to share today. Also, we're going to be looking at this from a first-timer's perspective, so there might be things that have been added in this version of the game that I might not be aware that weren't in the original game. So please chime in if I mention something, or if I'm not aware that something's been added, or if something was in the original that looks like it was added in, just correct me in the comment section below. But it's going to be a good time because this is my first time looking at Star Ocean, the second story. And with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps in the description down below, so if you want to skip to a certain section, feel free to do so, whatever floats your boat. All I ask is for you to support the channel and hit the thumbs up button. So let's dive straight into Star Ocean, the second story. I think the most important question to answer first, straight off the bat, is how long have I been playing and how far am I into the game? So I am just under 40 hours at the moment, and I believe I'm about to tackle the final dungeon, and I'm very excited to get that done and do it all again, and I'll explain why within this video. But for those that want to know, that's how far I'm into the game right now. Now there is a new game plus, and I'm going to be diving straight into that once I've completed the game, because the way that Star Ocean 2 kind of sets everything up, you need to do a second playthrough, and I think this version does it even better and easier for you because there is a new game plus, the things that carry over. There should be a screenshot right now so you can see what you can carry into new game plus, but it makes it more accessible so you don't have to go on the grind once again just to get the characters you haven't unlocked and kind of get the other side of the story that you are doing. For this playthrough that I've been doing at the moment, I've been playing as Claude. Of course, once I've done that with Claude, I'm going to go straight to Raina and get all that done as well. I want to give you a brief history of my Star Ocean kind of journey, so it kind of, you can see where I'm coming from when I'm hitting this video and all my points that I'm going to bring up along the way. Keep it short and sweet. I went into the series till the end of the time. I played The Last Hope, and then I played Integrity and Faithlessness. Didn't really like that one, but I think a lot of people are on par with me with that one. And then of course I've played The Divine Force, and I own the first Departure arc, but I've not played it. And of course we're diving in here for the first time for Star Ocean, the second story. Overall, it's a very casual series to me, but I really enjoy everything that I've played. I enjoy everything it has to offer, and this one, I can tell you, I enjoy everything it has to offer. Diving straight into the story, and of course I'm not going to go into spoilers. I'm just going to kind of give you kind of an off the cuff kind of thought of my feelings of it. Of course, I'm playing it with Claude, as I've mentioned previously, and I'm enjoying the story. It's nothing special, but the way I could probably sum it up best is that I'm having a lot more fun with the game and the gameplay as opposed to being along for the ride for the story and really being invested. So it's not a bad story, but it's not one that's really got me on the edge of the seat. I've just kind of enjoyed it as it came along and as I've been progressing through the game. So from story to characters, and let's briefly talk about the characters. You probably want to know what characters I have right now in my playthrough. So obviously I went with Claude, so by default I'm getting Raina. So from there, the characters that I am taking with me, my final 8, is Claude, Raina, Celine, Leon, Welch, Aston, Priestess, and Noel. They are the 8 that I'm going in with. Obviously, I am aware that there are more characters, but that is the whole point of a second playthrough, which I'm excited to come across these new characters and learn their stories and get into their private actions. But with the cast of characters that I've got, I'm pretty happy, both kind of like character-wise and combat-wise. And again, I don't want to dive too deep just in case people are in the same boat as me and it's their first time playing, but just play this game naturally and just go with the flow and collect who you want and answer how you want, and then you can correct your wrongs or right your wrongs in the next playthrough. So let's take a break from the game itself and talk about the way it presents itself as a remake, a remaster. I don't know what we're going to call it. It has the R there. What the R stands for, we don't know, or do we? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But this is beautiful. I mentioned it in my demo kind of overview video. This is incredible. It's like a step up or the next level of the HD 2D. I don't know if they're classing it as HD 2D, but you have the original sprites, which I believe are from the PS1 PS1 version, or it might have been some sprites from the PSP version. I'm not too sure because I've not played those games, but they are the original sprites. The thing that has changed the most is the environments and the background. It's full 3D, and when you get into the world map, you can then obviously kind of scale around and change the camera and see these beautiful sights. It looks amazing, from, again, the pixel sprites, the 3D backgrounds, the spell effects, and more. This is really enhanced. It runs really smoothly, and I don't have a bad thing to talk about it. We're going to talk about the music a little bit later, but spoiler, it's incredible. It really is incredible. But what they've done here with this HD port, it makes me want some of those PS1 classics, or those games that we've not seen a while from Square, in this way. And I'm talking about Xenogears. I've not played Xenogears myself, but I would love to play it in this style of game, and I'm sure a lot of you may agree or disagree. Let me know what game you would like to see in this style in the comments section below. We spoke about how beautiful this world looks, so let's go dive in a little bit deeper when it comes into term of gameplay. Of course, yes, it looks beautiful. It's really nice to traverse. But what is the exploration like in Star Ocean from the eyes of a first timer? I really like going into the nooks and crannies and finding the chests and speaking to certain NPCs to get items. For example, there's a part in the story where you go against a guy that kind of turns evil. It's in the demo, and he is controlled by a crystal, and then you kind of speak to him after this whole scenario has happened, speak to him a few times, and then you get an item that you may have not necessarily known about, and this was an item that I equipped and I used for quite a while in my playthrough. It's the small things that I like a lot about Star Ocean. You kind of just traverse, go across the world map, open the chests, and just enjoy what this world has to offer. Of course, as you progress through the game, there are more ways you can traverse the land, and again, it really opens it up even more. Dungeons to find, chests to find, unique spots to find, which is a really nice touch, where it kind of gives you a bit of a lore of all the locations that you visited, and it fills up in your database. It's really, really nice the way they have done things here, and again, it enhances even further as you go through. I've unlocked an ability that allows me to see all the chests in the map, so I don't really need to go into each kind of nut and cranny. I can just look at the map, see where the chests are, and progress even further and see exactly what I need to get, go get it, and there we go, treasure found. On the topic of world exploration, there is a fast travel system, and it really truly is fast. I mean, we are really eating it up here, because once you've visited locations or dungeons that you've been to, you can click up on the D-pad and it opens a fast travel menu, and you can go, as long as it's not gated by story content or you are in a place that you can't escape through in terms of story, you can go back and forth between things in a click of the fingers, and this makes traversal even easier, especially when you're trying to find side quests and private actions, because these are also marked on the fast travel map system. So you can see a little PA icon, there might be an exclamation point icon. You can go there and it tells you in what part of the map that it is. You fast travel there, get it done, see if it unlocks something else by pressing up, looking at your list of places again, and rinse and repeat. It's really easy, it's really snappy, and it really enhances the game when it comes to traversing. So you don't always have to be walking from A to B, you can just kind of go through the menu and do it that way. When talking about the world and exploration, I can't not bring up dungeons. Now, I really enjoy the dungeons of Star Ocean, and one of the reasons I think we can all agree is the music. It's just that kick-ass kind of Star Ocean music that you get when you go into a dungeon, and it really gets you amped up. But as the game gets along, some of these dungeons get quite interesting. There are hidden areas that you can find, more unique spots for you to find, and also there are some puzzles that are introduced as well to really kind of test you and kind of get you kind of going and adding a bit more variety to these dungeons, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, I want to move on to the most enjoyable factor of Star Ocean for me, and that is its combat. I feel like, as a first timer to this older title, because obviously it came out before the end of time that I first got into the series, this feels like it's for everyone. It's really smooth, easy to use. I had to switch the buttons, so the attack button wasn't circle for me. I switched it over to square just because of some games I play where attack is square. It made it a lot easier for me, so that might be a tip for some of you out there that might be having trouble forgetting where the buttons are. But it is really easy. You've got R1 and L1 to kind of use your skills or your symbology sets or whatever you've got equipped there, and as you get further into the game you can then combo two together to really kind of strategically enter a battle and get the edge and really have a good time. And that doesn't stop there. There's so much to think about, so much to change, from using items at the beginning of the battle to kind of give you like a heads up or a head start towards a battle, from the break system where you break down the shields and then you can go ham on that enemy while it's exposed, doing increased damage. You can also use something called assault actions, where essentially you have party members that are not in your party and they are kind of hotkeyed to your D-pad, and you can set which abilities they use. It doesn't have to be like physical or powerful attacks. It can be more support based, like having someone that can do an insta-cure, or you can have some kind of defense breakers to really help you out, or you can use some characters that we're all familiar with from past Star Ocean games, and I think these are mainly the protagonists. So far I've got all of them. I think I've got all of them actually. I've got everyone. So that is really good. And these have some insane abilities, especially Raymond. Edge has a good kind of breaking ability as well. And I really like Letitia's assault action as well. But there is so much to kind of play around with in this combat system and really make it your own. Really be strategic on how you enter these battles. And speaking about entering these battles, you see the enemies on the map. You can hit them from behind for a back attack, or you can just go straight forward. Or if you progress more with the game, you can be a little bit stronger and they are green and they kind of run away from you, but you can go for the straight back attack straight away if you want to grind some experience. Or even with some of the abilities that you get, you can use this thing where if an enemy is coming towards you, one of your characters will block it, so then you can go in for a back attack. It's a really cool and nice ability to have. Or you can just walk on by, so if you are fed up of those random encounters, that can really help you out. Or if you want to go for back attacks all the time, that can help you out also. There's also another ability that if the enemy does appear and it's green, that it gets automatically defeated and you get all the experience, all the fall, all the SP and BP, and it's a great way to kind of grind in lower areas once you've unlocked that ability, just to kind of hammer up all the experience as you go along. There is so much to this combat system. There are also formations and tactics that you can kind of mess around with. So essentially your formation is how your characters start off in battle, but there's something tied to it. When you defeat enemies, you kind of collect these orbs, and as you collect certain orbs, you hit these 3 levels, and with each formation there's different ones. So for example, there's an experience based one where if you hit the first orb, it's like 10% extra experience. Hit the second orb, it's 25 experience extra, so 35 in total, and then the third one is like 50% plus fall. So essentially if you hit all those orb levels, you're going to get those enhancements as you go into battle. So it's really nice to kind of mess around with the formation, especially if you're running around with a full kind of orb reel and you've got that all sorted. You kind of like, okay, I'm going into a harder battle, let's go get my attack formation where my attack's boosted if all more orbs are filled, and you can go in and go ham with that. But of course you can get broken as well, and when you are broken you lose all those orbs and you have to start again. So again, it's another layer to the combat that can really get you invested, that can make it truly unique to each individual player. I could go on and on into the combat system. There is so much to it. I've just unlocked kind of breaking the damage limit, and now I'm doing some insane numbers with the equipment that I've got equipped, and I'm having a blast with it. I can't wait to take what I've got now into a new game plus and just kind of rinse through, get the characters I need, and really go for the hard enemies out there. There's things called raids where there are these massive enemies that are very hard to defeat. You need certain kind of strategies to approach them. Can't wait to dive into that, and if there is any other extra dungeons included in this version of the game. So just to kind of wrap up combat, I just want to talk about progression. It's like most RPGs, you grind, you level up, you get experience, you earn abilities, etc. But you do earn SP and BP. SP we'll get into in just a second, but BP kind of goes into all of these kind of factors for your character. For example, Claude is my kind of main DPS that I've been using. So he has certain abilities where I can feed BP in that will enhance his attack power, or will allow him to go behind the enemy automatically a lot more frequently, or will allow him to break down the shields a lot faster. And then for example, for someone like Celine, I'm using kind of like haste and speech, which allows her to cast spells faster, or allows her magic power to be even more potent. And you want to kind of look at the character you've got and kind of add the statistics that you want, and then once you've done that, you kind of all fill them all out, and I'm sure within a few playthroughs you can have everyone maxed out and having a great time. You can also level up abilities so they do more damage or do more things or cover more area. Again, it is insane, and I'm having a blast with it, and it's really making me want to just go through to a new game, keep going and get everything maxed out and done. I mentioned SP, and this stands for Specialist Points, because like most Star Oceans, we have a crafting system. We have item creation and specialties. This is kind of an insane can of worms to open, and I don't want to kind of get so much into it and spend most of the video talking about it. But again, there is so much to this as well, and it adds to battle, it adds to exploration, things that I've mentioned previously. But then there's things like kind of customizing your weapons and kind of building up to that ultimate weapon, or cooking food and using it for certain stat buffs to go into battle, or heal everyone a lot faster and a lot more frequently. There is so many things. There's music you can perform that can enhance like your HP while you're walking, or it can give you better defense as you go into a battle, or it can overall kind of increase the percentage of you having a success while crafting items. There is layer upon layer upon layer. You can call a bunny, which you then can traverse the world map with and find chests that you could probably not reach earlier in the game, and traverse this glorious land just that little bit faster and really see the sights that it has to offer. I am probably missing so much out, and I'm just thinking off the top of the head what else I could mention in this just to kind of sell it to you. There is so much to look into, so much to dive into, and it really will truly make each person's experience different, especially if you come in at this as a first timer. I'm sure there's experienced players out there that have played Star Ocean 2 again and again that can give advice in the comment section below. No spoilers, by the way, but there is so much to it, and it is a really good time to go through. So let's touch on some of the side content in Star Ocean the Second Story R. Now, the main thing here is the private actions. This is how you get to know your characters and you build that relationship status with certain characters. I'm assuming that this goes in towards the ending you get. I might be wrong. I might have looked at the trophy list and realized that it says that there is a trophy for getting 15 endings. So I'm assuming that there are endings to kind of go through, and this is definitely going to be a defining factor to that. But this is fun, but it's very easy to track where they are. Another thing which I consider side content is the database. I want to fill it out. There is a lot of question marks I still got towards the end of the game that I'm playing right now, and I want to fill that all out, from enemies, from unique spots that I've visited, from the items that I've crafted, the weapons that I have collected, and the fish that I have caught. That is right, fishing is in Star Ocean, and you can enhance this by kind of leveling it up in the specialist menu with your SP, or you can kind of just go with the luck of the draw. More fish you catch, the more fish you fill in the database. There is an NPC called Reel that can reward you for certain milestones for that fishing venture that you're going on, and if you've got certain fish you can trade in for certain items. It's a nice addition. I know that it's new because it's been kind of touted about and told about that this is new, and I had a good time with it. And you know that I'm going to be completing the database of my fish and getting all the rewards that it has to offer. Okay, let's talk about music. And even though I've not played the game originally, you do have the option to switch between the original soundtrack and the current soundtrack. I think in this video I've probably got the original soundtrack playing at certain intervals, but I gotta tell you, the arrangements that they have here, the enhanced soundtrack, the re-recorded soundtrack is incredible, and I've not gone back to the original whatsoever. This is an excellent soundtrack, and I've got to shout out some of the boss themes and some of the dungeon themes because it really gets you in the mood. And I think that's about it. This has been quite the experience for me. I'm very grateful that I've had the time I've had to play this before here, because I feel like I'm part of the crew now of people that have played Star Ocean 2, and I can see why it is probably one of the most loved Star Oceans. And I can tell you right now that they have done a great job and delivered. I think first timers like me are going to have a real good time with a really big RPG with a lot to offer, and fans of Star Ocean 2 are going to have an incredible time revisiting one of their favorite titles with enhancements, additions, and just everything else in between. This really is incredible, and I'm not just saying that, I'm having a blast. I can't wait to play this game again. I can't wait to go through it again with Arena. It's very rare for me to say that. Usually I'm a one and done kind of guy, unless it is a game that really offers that replay value, and I feel like Star Ocean does, especially with its new Game Plus. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below if there's anything that I haven't talked about, or if you have any questions that you want me to answer. Of course, I don't want to spoil anything for newcomers, but if there's something you want to ask, feel free to do so. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you're notified of that content. Again, get involved in the comments, and I've got to thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.